Well, hello again and welcome to our reading of the Greek New Testament. We're reading Luke's Gospel and up to chapter 21. This particular pericope is in Mark's Gospel. It's not in Matthew, interestingly, and this is a little story of the so-called the widow's mite. Anablepsas de epen tous ballontas es togadzopholikion tardora auton plusius. Again, we're never told anything about time aspects of this. Things just happen one after the other. So here it's just having looked up, he saw tous ballontes, and a little bit of style here. Luke leaves the key word, which is plusius, right to the end of the sentence, but grammatically it goes with tous ballontas. So having looked up, he saw wealthy men casting tardora auton, their gifts, into the gadzophulakion, into the temple treasury. Phulakion, the phulax root is here as to guard or look after something, and gaza is a Hebrew word, one of the meanings of which is treasury, so into the thing which guards the treasure, so the temple treasury. But again, the key point is here that Luke uses this stylistic trope here of leaving the key word to the end of the sentence, when he could easily have put it further earlier on. Aiden de tinakeran penikran balusan eke lepta duo. And he saw a certain, Kera is a widow, and penikran, well, interesting adjective. It's only here in the New Testament. You do get penes, which is the usual word for poor, but it simply means just another word for poor. So he saw a certain poor widow, feminine participle, casting there, that is into the gadzophulakion, lepta duo, to a lepta. Now, a lepta is a little bit like our loose change. It's the little bit left over is the original meaning of it, but it was a coin, the very smallest of coins. And so she puts two of those into the temple treasury. Kai apen, and he said, alethos lego humin hoti hekera haute heptoke pleon panton ebelen. Truly I say to you that hekera haute, this widow, the poor one, so this poor widow, ebelen, cast in, pleon more, and this is a comparative, so we get a genitive of comparison here, more than all of them. Pantes gar hutoi ek tu perisuon tos autois ebelon es tardora, haute de ek tu husterematos autes panta ton bion hon aiken ebelen. Now this would have been a nice place for a men and a de, but we don't quite get that. We've got a gar and a de. So for all of those others, so all of those ones, they cast, es tardora is really idiomatic here. It's perhaps into the gifts, understand, of the treasury, or it might mean among the gifts that were already there in the treasury box. Slightly, and you see there's variant readings here, there's difficulties here. So all of them were casting, well, perhaps among the gifts, from that which was abundant for them. So we get a participle here from perisuo, I abound, so from the thing which abounded for them, that is from all their money. Haute de, but she, by comparison, she, understand, she gave from her husterematos, from that which she lacked, from her lacking, literally, all of her bios. Bios can mean life, but it also means livelihood. So all of the things that keep you alive, which she had. Oh, there's the main verb here. So she cast in out of her lack, perhaps out of her poverty, her whole livelihood, all the livelihood which she had. The next little pericope is in both Matthew and Mark's Gospel. Again, it's following on really quite sequentially, as with the earlier chapters. Kai tinon legonton peritu hiru hoti lithois kalois kai anathemasin ke cosme tai apen. And genitive absolute here, there were certain ones speaking, we're not told who they are, regarding the temple. That so as certain ones were speaking regarding the temple, that it has been ordered. This is from cosmio, meaning to order or put together. We'd probably say built here or constructed with beautiful stones and anathemasin. These are offerings, and anathema, we get an anathema later on in the which is totally different meaning, but originally these were offerings. We get the modern sense of anathema from the fact that it referred to offerings given to idols, and hence they were anathema, but the original meaning was just offerings, things given up, things placed upon. This particular one here, I think it's only here in this sense in the New Testament. The temple had in fact been gifted by many kings and rulers. So they were saying regarding the temple that it had been adorned, perhaps might be better here, had been adorned with beautiful stones and offerings. So while that was happening, Apen, he said, that is Jesus said, Tauta ha theorete eleusontai hemerai en hais uk apathesatai lithos epilitho hos uk cataluthesatai. All these things which you see, days will come, future from Urkamai, en hais, in which a stone will not be left. This is a future passive here from hiami is the verb. Will not be left, stone will not be left upon stone, which will not be pulled down or destroyed. Kataluo often has the sense of to destroy something. This is the future passive here. Following on from that pericope, we also, and again following on from Matthew and following on from Mark, we get the next little pericope. Eperotesan de auton legontes, didaskali poti un tauta estai, kai titos meon potan mele tauta ginestai. And speaking, they asked him, from erotao, didaskali, O teacher, when therefore will these things be? Neuter plural subject, plural verb, which sometimes you get singular verb in Luke, sometimes you don't. Here we're getting a plural verb with the with a plural subject, neuter plural subject. Kaititosamean, and what is the sign whenever tauta these things are about to take place? Now, interesting here that we get neuter plural subject and singular verb, which is the correct Greek. But so it's the rule had been really sometimes you did it, sometimes you didn't. So what will be the sign, or whenever these things are about to take place? Ginesthai, to be. Hode apen, and he said, Blepete me plan thete. Now this is from planao, it's an alpha contract verb. So look lest you be led astray. So this is probably, this must be an aorist passive subjunctive here. So look out lest you be led astray. Poloiga eleusontai, for many will come in my name, saying, ego eimi, well, I am. Again, one can't help but see some reference to the divine name here, but it's just I am or I am he. And Hokairos Angiken, but the time. So they're also saying this. They're saying I am the one, and they're saying the time has drawn near, from Engisdo. This is the perfect here from Engisdo, to draw near. Me porutheati opiso auton. Do not go after them. Hotan de acusete polemus kai akatastasias me ptoethete. Whenever you hear of wars, from polemos, and akatastasia, stasis is often refers in classical Greek to insurrections or strife within the city, and this akatastasias, a fairly rare word in the New Testament, it simply means insurrection or public disorder. Me ptoethete. Do not be frightened. The verb here is ptoeo. It's an epsilon contract verb. It's more of a poetic word than a prose word. It has more the sense of sort of jump around in terror. We've got many words in Greek for fear and frightening and so on. This one is more of a poetic word. It sort of means to leap around, to jump around in some degree of terror and anguish. So it's generally translated, well, that's the classical meaning in poetry, but here it's probably just the sense of ptoeo is to frighten or to terrify, and this is the second person plural passive subjunctive, aorist passive subjunctive here, so used in place of an imperative. So do not be frightened. Dega tauta gines thy proton, al uk eutheos totelos. For it is necessary for all things, for these things firstly genesthai to take place, but the end is not eutheos, is not immediately. So we have to understand a verb here, the end will not come immediately, because this is an adverb here. Toti elegen autois, then he began to say to them, ergethesetai ethnos ep ethnos, kai basileia epi basilean. The nation, ergethesetai, future passive from egero, you get a vowel shortening here. So nation will rise ep against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Seismoi de megaloi kai katatopus limoi kai loimoi esontai. Lovely sound patterns here. Greek likes that sort of repetition of sound. Phobe tra te kai ap uranu senea megala estai. There will be, there's the main verb here, there will be seismoi, great earthquakes, and we get te and kai. So there will be both great earthquakes, kai katatopus, and in various places, limoi kai loimoi. Now, a limos is a famine, and a loimos is a pestilence. So there will be famines and pestilences. And then comma in the next bit, phobetra, things causing fear. So terrors or terrible sights, it's from that phobia root. This is only here in the New Testament, this word, but it is a classical word. It's in Plato, for example. So there will be terrors and great signs ap uranu, from heaven. And again we get another verb here. So there will be terrors and great signs from heaven. We get the nice tekai connecting these two, both and. Pro de two-tone pantone epibalus in f humas tas keras auton kai dioxusin. Paradidontes estas synagogas kai phulakas ap agomenus epibasiles kai hegemonas Heniken to onomatos mu. It's quite a long verse. So before all of these, or sorry, but before all of these things, epibalusin, so this is slightly idiomatic. Literally, they will cast their hands against you. So they will raise their hands against you. Kai, and they will, dioko is to pursue or chase after, can also mean persecute in biblical Greek. So they will persecute you or chase after you, handing you over to the synagogues and the fulakas and the guards. Ap agomenus, now this is accusative plural, so it's agreeing back with this humas we've had before, understood. So leading you, you are being led. It's passive here, isn't it? So from apago. So they will persecute you, you who are led to kings and hegemonas by this stage means governor, on account of my name. It's rulers or kings and rulers, if you like. It's the hegemon is the one who is in charge of, can often refer to governors or leaders or rulers. Apobaesetai humin es marturion. A very short verse. Apobaesemai is, or apobino has the meaning it will turn out, literally. So it will result for you in testimony, that is, in giving testimony. It's a very short, clipped verse there. In other words, it will give an opportunity for you to give witness. That's one way of paraphrasing it. Theteun entais cardios diais humon me promeletan apologe thenai. This is the imperative from tithemi. You only get the theta's the only thing you basically get here from the root. So tithemi. So thete is place. Therefore, understand these things in your hearts, lest pro militan apologesi. I see. And do not. Militao is a verb to practice something. Meletao, to practice, a standard word in classical Greek for practicing something. Meletao does occur in the New Testament elsewhere. This particular verb doesn't occur anywhere else, but it is formed from pro plus this meletao. This is an infinitive here. So place these things in your heart. In other words, decide not to practice beforehand apologothenai, to give a defense. So this is the aorist passive infinitive. So in other words, place it in your heart not to practice beforehand to give a defense. Slightly tricky little sentence, verse there. Ego gardoso humin stomakai sophian he uk dunesontai antistenai antepain hapantes hoi antikai menoi humin. For I will give, now literally, a mouth to you. So we'd have to paraphrase this a little bit. It's almost, I will give speech to you, but it's literally, I will give a mouth to you and wisdom, by which, this is the relative pronoun here in the dative, but so it's by which they will not be able, now who are they? All the ones who are opposed to you, literally lying against you. So by which all those who are opposed to you will not be able, and istenai, to resist, literally to stand up against, or and apain, or to deny, or to refuse. Paradotheses there, dekai hypogonion, kai adelphon, kai sungenon, kai philon, kai here we are. Thanatosousin ex humone. You will be handed over. This is the future passive from paradidomi. So you can see the form here. It's para plus the root of didomi is do or dot. There's the root, and they've just added on the thesis there. It's the second person plural from the future passive. So you will be handed over, or even, I think for the kai, even by gonion. This is from gonius, if you're looking this one up. It's a third declension. Noun in us, like basilius. This is gonius, your parents and your brothers and your relatives and your friends. And now we have to understand tines, tinas in here. Some from among you they will put to death. So they will put to death some from among you. Slightly elided expression here, but you can supply tinas or something, certain ones from among you. Kai esses there misuminoi hupapanton dietos to onoma mu. And this is the future from Amy. You will be hated. So we're getting here a future, it's a future passive, but done periphrastically using the verb to be. So you will be hated, passive from missio, by all on account of my name. Kai thrix es ektes kephales humon ume apolletai. And literally, a hair from your head in no way will perish. Greek loves to do everything in the negative. So rather than saying no hair of your head will perish, Greek says a hair of your head will in no way perish. En de hupomone humon ktesaste tas psukas humon. But in your steadfastness, kteitaste here, you will possess, you'll keep, so this verb is kataamai, you will, this must be a future passive here, you will get possession of your lives by your hupomone, by your steadfastness, by your endurance. This could also be an imperative here. There, or it's hard to tell here with this. I think this probably is a future passive here. You will keep control of your lives. You will keep possession of your lives by your steadfastness, by your perseverance. And that's the first part of chapter 21.